Wendy's has had sweets on their menu for over 5 decades, and they've continued to produce gems and duds in abundance. From best to worst, these are the desserts you should either seek out or skip next time you're craving a Baconator. Since this list is going from best to worst, the first item is an undeniably solid choice.
Well, I wanted to save the best part for last, but it's all the best part.
Any chance you get to skip the mall food court while still enjoying something from Cinnabon is an occasion for celebration, and finding the Cinnabon Pull-Apart standing front and center on the Wendy's bakery menu was certainly cause for excitement. It has the feeling of a breakfast food you can get your fingers dirty eating after lunch, before dinner, after dinner, late at night, or early in the morning. It may be the most versatile dessert style offering Wendy's has ever produced. Our verdict is that this thing is delicious. It's a little cup filled with a cluster of Cinnabon bits smaller than donut holes and drenched in buttery, vanilla-flavored cream cheese glaze. It's like all the leftover pieces of larger Cinnabons have a place of their own to go, so that Wendy's guests can join in on the magic. Though the pull-apart aspect is a fun, interactive add-in, there's hardly enough in a single order to share with friends, which may be a good thing. Your cohorts can get their own, since you're probably going to want to snarf down your Cinnabon Pull-Apart by yourself. You might even want a second one. While other Frosty flavors have come and gone, the stalwart chocolate Frosty is always available no matter what jazzy variant occupies the other side of the machine. It's a beloved soft-serve wonder that Wendy's has made a hallmark of its menu from the beginning. Anyone who thinks about dessert at Wendy's is sure to have an instant mental image of a chocolate Frosty pop into their mind's eye. Given how long it's been around, it's not surprising the chocolate Frosty is another entry on this list that is admittedly pretty tasty. With all its creamy, chocolatey perfection waiting to be devoured after you finish your main meal, it has earned a respectable reputation at the very least. It's a sweet standard that doesn't go down without a fight, and it will be a prime contender for the peak spot if novelty desserts like the Cinnabon Pull-Apart get shelved. For now, it's enough to know that you can't go wrong if a chocolate Frosty is your favorite treat from the after-dinner section of the menu. If you're going to cookie, this is the flavor to cookie with. Wendy's chocolate chunk cookie is purported to be made fresh on site, though we certainly didn't notice an assembly line of these oven-baked treats on the premises we visited. Maybe they have their own Keebler-style trees somewhere in the back. Regardless, if this chocolate-studded bake is trying to be more than a boxed cookie stuffed in a wax paper wrapper that serves as an alternative to a Frosty, it has quite an aspirational climb ahead of it. In fairness, this is a shockingly proficient cookie, on par with the best baked stuff you'd find at a Mrs. Fields, though it certainly isn't as bougie as anything you'd find at a place like Crumble. On the whole, it's a well-done version of a chocolate chip cookie, thicker than necessary to hold cubes of milk chocolate, with a tender crumb and a buttery flavor that comes across as convincingly homemade. If it's a staple of the dessert menu, it's a top choice. If it's a temporary item that's destined for the dustbin of Wendy's discontinued items, it will be a sad one to lose. For now, it's a top 3 treat you should seriously consider. The most basic of the basics in the dessert world, a sugar cookie can offer just a touch of sweetness to balance out a palate that's been busy downing burgers and fries. When done poorly, however, it's a crumbly mess that can make you wish you would have saved your money. Luckily, Wendy's does an admirable job with its sugar cookies, providing an oversized blonde disc that doesn't look as much like a Loft House melt-in-your-mouth sugar cookie as it does a pick from the Panera Best of selection. Rather than being slathered with deceptively tender frosting and showered with multi-hued sprinkles, this cookie is stark and unadorned, displaying the blank purity of the recipe to anyone inspecting for add-ins or toppers that might feel overindulgent. Breaking into the cookie reveals a crusty shell with tender, buttery dough baked to just the right level of chewiness. It's a nice cookie, if not dazzling, and it makes a welcome addition to your nuggets and fries if just a touch of sweetness plagues your appetite. Just don't expect to be overwhelmed. Something lightly sweet that can be enjoyed for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or as a late-night snack, the Oatmeal Bar on Wendy's bakery menu is an unofficial dessert candidate thanks to its resemblance to a granola cookie that's been run over by the delivery truck. It's stout and stocky and looks like it could easily serve as a grab-and-go breakfast item. For fans of old-fashioned flavor, it should also slide onto the dessert tray with no problem, even if it isn't as sexy an option as a chocolate chunk cookie or a cup of silky soft serve.
That's the oatmeal cookie. Fantastic, Evan.
It has the look of a fresh-baked Cliff Bar, at least the ones that taste like cookies rather than gritty bricks of protein powder coated in chocolate. While the flavor is almost there, it's just not quite emphatic enough in either the brown sugar, cinnamon, or buttery elements to be anything special. You might mistake it for being a healthier option than the other bakes, but it has only slightly better nutritional facts than Wendy's chocolate chunk and sugar cookies. So what you end up with is an okay oatmeal cookie, about as mediocre a dessert as you could imagine. There's a stealthy, health-minded dessert lurking on the Wendy's menu for anyone sneaky enough to look, and it comes in the form of apple bites. Our order of these chunks of apple came in a decorated cup clearly designed to appeal to the tots in your troop. As desserts go, it's a mindful choice that keeps your kids from ingesting more sugar than they probably had in their beverage. But it's not the most heart-swelling option on the menu. Granted, there's nothing directly bad about apple bites, other than they're smaller than a slice size that aims them directly toward a youth audience. The reason for ranking them so low is that they're apples, which makes a nice healthful dessert but doesn't exactly set the sweet tooth aflame. They also come in a serving that's less than a full apple, which means you'll still be hungry after eating them. Any proper dessert leaves you both admiring your taste in sweet dishes and regretting your decision to eat them so soon after devouring your value meal. Apple bites are too innocent for that kind of mischief. But your kids might just be tricked into thinking they're enjoying a special treat. The Triple Berry Frosty is Wendy's summer power play, a replacement for the Vanilla Frosty that adds a trio of berry flavors to the original vanilla base in an attempt to take your taste buds for a seasonal spin. The purple hue is reminiscent of McDonald's ill-advised Grimace Shake, an overly sweet treat in a fun yet off-putting hue that at least made sense given it was celebrating Grimace's birthday. Can Wendy's do something more special with violet-dyed syrup to make the berries in this patch worth picking for dessert? Not so much.
This is very, very bad.
The strangely artificial candy flavoring that made the Grimace Shake grimace-worthy is present here too, adding weird disappointment that bears a chemical-heavy resemblance to a grape, raspberry, and blueberry without actually tasting like any of them. It would be better if Wendy's stuck with frosty flavors that accent the vanilla cream base like its orange dreamsicle springtime surprise, because the Triple Berry Frosty ended up being a dessert treat that's just not worth the trip.